Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know I've been away for a little while. I've mostly been focusing on my studies. I've just started a doctorate, which if you don't know what that is, it's pretty similar to a PhD. So I started that about 8 weeks ago. So I've been focusing very heavily on that, as well as just getting out my weekly blogs online. And I've also decided that I'm going to self-publish my crime novel, Every Time He Dies. I will be talking more about that novel as time goes on, but it's all very exciting. I hired my editor and we've been working together, and I feel really good about the decision. On to today's topic. I'm talking about the different elements that inform a book cover's design. A good book cover is the most powerful marketing tool you have at your disposal. Whether you like it or not, we all judge books by their cover. There are 7 basic elements that will inform a book cover's design. They are the country it is being published in, the design trends at the time, the novel's themes, plot, and character, whether it is a standalone or part of a series, the target audience, the genre, and the author's brand, and this is relevant for both fiction and non-fiction authors. In traditional publishing, professional designers are responsible for creating a book's cover, not you. Sometimes the publisher will ask the author for any ideas or inputs, what they envision for the cover, and sometimes the publisher will present the author with several mock-ups of a design and ask for their preference. But most of the time, the decision is made in-house regardless of the author's preference or their own personal vision for the book cover. Have you ever noticed how a book cover's design may differ between Western countries? The US, UK, and Australia versions of any one book often have very different styles and obviously covers. This happens because the publisher's US, UK, or Australian division has tasked a local in-house designer with creating a cover that will appeal to the specific country or readership. What appeals to an American horror reader will differ from one that appeals to an Australian horror reader. Apparently, being in a first world Western country is not enough to make our tastes similar. Interestingly, self-published authors tend to use the same cover regardless of the country where the purchase is happening. Though self-publishers can get their books into bookstores quite easily these days, the vast majority of sales occur online through print-by-demand distributors. Therefore, it's almost impossible, or at least incredibly difficult, to have a country-specific cover. That being said, the desire to have a country-specific cover does not seem to be a common one amongst indie authors. They're too busy building their author platform to worry about that. Trends have a huge impact on a cover's design. Bold colors, large or hand-drawn typography, and illustrations are the current trend. You may have noticed this in your local bookstore. Personally, I think this illusion of a handcrafted cover is kind of a pushback against our increasingly digital world. It also complements the cultural rising of artisan craftsmanship. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the number of boutique wineries, cheesemakers, and even old worldly craftsmanship like rocking horse makers seems to be having a really strange revival right now, and I'm all for it. Of course, the most common factor that influences a book's cover is its themes, plot, and the characters. If the book has a female character with long blonde hair, then the designer may decide to put someone with those characteristics on the cover. If the book has a particular theme, such as an environmental theme or a political theme, then this may be represented on the cover. If there are particular symbols that appear throughout the book, this again could appear on the cover. I don't think I need to talk about this one excessively. I'm pretty sure we all know theme, plot, and characters will largely inform the design of a cover. Something people maybe don't think about is how the book's genre will also influence the design. Romance books have very different covers to horror and science fiction books. Non-fiction books have very different covers to fiction books, and literary novels have very different covers to genre novels. This is because the tropes, mood, and purpose of these categories are very different. Non-fiction books typically seek to entertain, inspire, or inform their reader. Genre books are driven by story and plot, and each specific genre has its own unique tropes. Think about it. Romance, you have your tropes such as boy meets girl, happily ever after, or happy for now. A horror novel about vampires will likely make an allusion to how that vampire can't walk out during the daytime, or how werewolves turn into werewolves when the moon is full. That's a trope. Literary novels are driven by ideas. The story isn't about the story, it's a metaphor for something else. Series typically have a continuity between their covers so that readers can easily identify which book belongs to which series. This is particularly important if an author has multiple series under the one name. Though each series may fall under the same genre, each series will have its own distinct and specific look. Of course, a book's target audience will also influence the cover's design. The reader's age, gender, occupation, and interests are just a few of the qualities a designer may consider when creating a cover. They may ask themselves, who is this book for? Is it for a mother in her mid-40s, a teenage boy, an elderly gardening enthusiast? A novel aimed at a male video game player in their early 20s is unlikely to have a pastel green cover with pink daisies on it, but one aimed at an elderly gardening enthusiast might. The last thing a designer may consider in creating a cover is the author's brand. Author branding is not a new concept. We're just hearing about it all the time because of the rise of the internet, social media, and self-publishing. An author's brand is essentially how they present themselves to their audience. A brand is a promise an author makes to their audience so that readers know what to expect from them and their fiction. Branding includes the visual images that appear on an author's website and social media pages in the form of banners, their layout, photography, and even typography. If the author publishes a non-fiction book, their online aesthetic may influence the cover's design. This is rarely the case with fiction authors, both indie and traditionally published. Instead, a continuity may exist across all the author's covers so that fans can easily identify works written by that particular author. You may also notice that some books and series are rebranded every 5 to 10 years. As previously mentioned, a book's cover is the most powerful marketing tool available to authors and publishers, which is why book covers are often updated or rebranded in response to changing trends and readers' feedback. A book's target audience doesn't change, but the members of that audience do. Readers grow older, their interests change, and their reading preferences shift. This is why publishers and indie authors update a book's cover so that they will appeal to current members of the target audience. Covers contain a lot of embedded information, and they are the first impression we get of any book. A great book cover will make a reader feel something, and if that reader does feel something, they are far more likely to pick up the book, turn it over, and read the blurb on the back, or click on the image and read the description. A book may contain thousands and thousands of words, but a picture only contains 1,000. So, you better make it count. That's all I got for you today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel. All the links are below. You can also check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a weekly blog over at taraeast.com. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll receive a free downloadable copy of my Writers Kickstarter Pack. how to write a blog and get published. So what are you waiting for? Get to it. Hope you guys have had an excellent week, and I'll see you next time.